Welcome to Storytime. Enjoy with me. Lifelines by Peter Viney.
One. Computing the future.
Rachel put down her pen and closed her eyes. She felt tired, very tired. She looked up at the clock. 4:30. Good. There was enough time to get to the newspaper office before 5 o'clock, and she wanted the advertisement to go into Friday's newspaper. Then, well, she didn't know what was going to happen next. It was a wonderful idea, and it was a new idea. She picked up the finished advertisement and walked through the office door into the computer room. The computer room was always busy. 14 people worked there. Rachel smiled and said hello to everyone as she walked across the room. Long pieces of blue paper were coming out of the computers. The operators were checking them carefully, then putting them into envelopes. Rachel's company used computers to do horoscopes for people. You sent the date, time and place of your birthday to the company Computer Astrology Limited, and the computers could do a horoscope for you. Rachel's boss, Mervyn Astra, started the company 3 years before. Mervyn Astra wasn't his real name, of course, but it sounded good. It sounded good in the newspaper and magazine advertisements. His real name was Brian Smith, but only a few people knew that. Rachel was his assistant. She didn't like Mervyn very much. He was a short, fat man with glasses and very long hair. Mervyn drove an orange Rolls-Royce everywhere. There were gold stars all over it. "It's good advertising," Mervyn always said. Anyway, when Rachel had the new idea, Mervyn said, "All right, you can try it." On Friday morning, Rachel got up early. She was waiting for the newspaper. It arrived at 8 o'clock. Rachel hurried to the table and opened it. She was looking for her advertisement. There it was, on page 7. Rachel smiled. She didn't really believe in palmistry. She thought it was nonsense. But she thought astrology was nonsense too. And the advertisement wasn't a lie. Not really. Mervyn was a wonderful computer programmer, and the computer program really did have all the information that they could find about palmistry. It could read the photographs with a special video camera, and it could compare them to thousands and thousands of pictures in the program. The program was very expensive. Mervyn worked on it for a long time. Rachel was a little worried. She wanted the idea to be successful. Mervyn could get angry very quickly, and he hated losing money. She read the advertisement again and laughed. Rachel Grant, palmistry consultant. That was funny. It was Mervyn's idea, of course. Do you want to know about the future? Palmistry is the science of telling the future from people's hands. It's a very old science. You can learn about your life and about important things that will happen to you. You can learn about your thoughts, future romances, and your future wealth. We use modern technology to give you a forecast of the future. Our computer has a special program with information from all the best fortune tellers in the world. Are you interested? Just send a photograph of your left hand with a cheque for £10 made out to Computer Astrology Limited to Rachel Grant, Palmistry Consultant, Computer Astrology Limited, P.O. Box 75, Lazenhurst, LE6 4IQ. Don't forget to write your name on the back of the photograph. The headline will tell you about your thoughts. The lifeline will tell you about your life and the important things that will happen to you. The heartline will tell you about romance and your future love life. The fortune line will tell you about your possessions and future wealth. Computer Astrology Limited, Director Mervyn Astra.
Two. It's all nonsense.
Rachel didn't need to worry. The idea was successful. It was more successful than the computer horoscopes. A week later, they had thousands of photographs of hands. They put the advertisement in more newspapers and magazines. Mervyn had to buy more computers, and a month later, there were 30 people working in the computer room. Mervyn bought a yellow Cadillac and put pictures of hands all over it. He used to drive the Rolls-Royce during the week and the Cadillac at weekends. He was a very happy man. Mervyn gave Rachel a lot more money, but she wasn't happy. She was embarrassed by her job, palmistry consultant. 3 months ago it was funny. Now it was embarrassing. When people said, "What do you do?" she usually said, "Oh, I work with computers." One day, Rachel was at a party. She was speaking to a woman. They were talking about sport when the woman asked her name. Rachel told her. Suddenly, the woman said, "Are you the Rachel Grant? You know, the palmistry consultant?" Yes. Yes, I am," said Rachel. "Why? Have you heard about me?" "Oh, yes," said the woman. "I have. I've seen the advertisements in all the newspapers. I used to be very interested in palmistry. I used to read people's hands." "Used to be?" said Rachel. "Aren't you interested in it now?" "No, I'm not," said the woman. "I read a lot of books about it. It's all nonsense. Nonsense!" Rachel smiled. "Why do you think so?" she asked. "Well," said the woman, "think about it. What does the lifeline tell you?" "It tells you how long people will live," she said. "Yes," said the woman. "So, in 1914 and 1939, before the 2 world wars, were there a lot of people with short lifelines?" "I don't know," said Rachel. "I've never thought about it." "Well," said the woman, "think about it for a minute. Did fortune-tellers see a lot of people with short lifelines? Millions of people died in the wars." "Maybe. I don't know." But no fortune-teller wrote about it. Never. I've read all the important books. No one wrote about it. "That's interesting," said Rachel. "But maybe they didn't want to tell people about it. And it was a long time ago." "What about the Vietnam War and Cambodia? What about Ethiopia? I can give you a lot of modern examples, too." "Fortune-tellers don't usually tell bad news," said Rachel. "People don't want to know." "Have you read much about palmistry, Miss Grant?" the woman said. "Well, yes, of course. We had to read everything before we wrote the computer program," said Rachel. "Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I forgot. You are a palmistry consultant, aren't you?" The woman smiled. "Come on, Miss Grant," she said. "It's nonsense. And you know that it's nonsense, don't you? I can see that.
To be continued.